a lovely little fly to have pretty much throughout the year, but it starts working now. The original fly was a Dalback, and it's called Green Sleeves. This is the Cormorant version of Green Sleeves. It does really well. Probably for now is the water starting to clear, black and green combination, right through to the end of the year. It's a really simple fly to tie. Fish it as a team of three on a floater or maybe a fast glass. Nothing much heavier than that really. You don't need to fish these in sinking lines. You're looking for fish that are looking up when you're fishing flies like this. Yeah, cracking little pattern. Let's go ahead and tie it. Perhaps if I'm half prepared and have some hooks ready. So I'm going to start with a size 10 B175 in the vise, standard comp hook. Black tie thread, no fancy. And just lay on a bed of tying thread, keeping it nice and even. Stopping, you can see I've stopped there. I'm right opposite the point of the hook. I never go much further back than that. Then I've got a thin silver wire. I don't think the wire makes much difference. A lot of cormorants are tied with copper wire, gold. It really doesn't make a difference. So this is a fine silver wire, and what I like to do with I usually always tie clockwise. Wind my rib up clockwise, wind my body up clockwise, blah blah blah. On the rib on this one I like to wind it up clockwise, but the body, which is this stuff, I've got two strands of peacock hair, and what you do is you marry one butt end up with one tip end and start about 2 inches in where it's stronger. If you use the tip or the bottom, the actual hair's not that strong. So like I say, I'm going to wind this up anti-clockwise so that I can rib it clockwise. I suppose it matters. Just the way I like to do it. So you can spin these. I don't think you need to. What you do need to do is make sure that they're going, when you're winding up, you make sure that they're going on touch and turns, and you make sure every wrap goes in front of the other, otherwise it starts to look messy. Lost a strand there. Grab them back. Now, just got to come in and secure. I like to stick a whip finish in it, like I say. So I wound that anti-clockwise. I'm going to wind the rib up through it, and I have the rib really quite close. No massive gaps between the touch and between the turns, quite close, and then secure. Twizzle that off. You see a lot of bodies on cormorants that are quite bulky. That becomes a lure. You're kind of looking between a lure and a nymph. And you see the bodies on my flies are really quite thin. So next up, I've got some black marabou, and you'll see, oh, it's not a very good one, and you'll see a lot of people, it's better, you'll see a lot of people use the tips. You can use the tips. I quite like personally I think there's more, you can use the tips like that, but I find there's more mobility in the longer feathers that you'd use for fishing lures down at the bottom. I only want, it's probably a thumb width. I don't want a lot. The whole plan is when I fish this slow, I want it to be able to move. So what I do with my marabou is I run it between my thumb and forefinger, like so, and it just creates a thinner tying in point. Pinch and loop, secure, like so. I've got to come in with my scissors at an angle. You can never get that quite right. It doesn't matter how good your scissors are, you're always going to get that little tuft marabou. Look at that. It's just put there to wind me up. But we can tidy all that up with thread wraps anyway, so let's not worry about it. I'm going to cut my wing to length, same as a hook shank. I see a lot of cormorants where the wing's quite long. You're looking to be length of the body, or maybe just a tad more. Like I say, it's a cross between a lure and a nymph. A longer wing becomes a lure, shorter wing, it's kind of half and half, that's the way I see it. So I've then got these chartreuse goose biots. I've got to get one on either side. That's not a very good one. It's better. And you want it to go back on the body, not the wing. So I'm going to tilt this, and I'll tilt it back so you can see where I've got it. Like I say, you want it on the body and not going up the wing. See that there? One on this side. But I really like this fly for April. From April onwards, really. Right, so that's the wing secured. We just got to come in and trim any extra bits and pieces, keeping the thread under tension. And then we've got to tidy up the head. With cormorants, especially when you're adding stuff to the head, you're never going to get a tiny neat head like you would in a nymph, but you can have it tidy-ish, like that. A little bit there, we'll just cover him up. There we go. I've just got to come in and whip finish. Oh, I made a pig's ear of that. Just got to come back in, tidy that up. There you know. So there's your head done. I now take my goose biots back, and you're wanting the goose biots to be the same length as you'd have cheeks on a buzzard's thorax. I'll just show you. I'm going to cut them at an angle, like so. And on this side, be careful not to catch the wing, like so. That's it. And now what I do is, for a little bit of security, add a bit of glue, super glue. What you'll find is it tidies the head up as well. And there you go. A little green sleeves cormorant. A really simple fly to tie. Not a lot of materials, which I liked, but a very effective fly. Nice and simple, a quick tie, and one that's got to catch lots of fish. I really hope you enjoyed that, folks. If you did, please be kind enough to subscribe to the channel. Take care, and bye bye.